from the United States. I am Olakunle Lemboye, joining you from Canada. Today we have a beautiful show for you, and we have a lot of interesting show. We are going to start with the news trending, and it's about Peter Obi. But before we proceed, let me just ask, guys, my friends, how are you doing? Hope everything is going well for you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be around. Today is a great day. We need to air our opinion as usual.
Yeah. Yes. What about you, June? June, how has it been?
Fantastic day. We are actually in great summer here, very hot, very warm, and we feel like we are in Nigeria. And so we are reminded of Nigeria, especially today gives me idea of how Nigeria is, and I have the urge to behold my country.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Today is a sunny day for me as well in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It's very sunny. Yeah, this is what we like, We don't like the snow. So, yes. So let's just dive into the show. Yes, there was this interview granted, by Dino Melaye, where he practically condemned, Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, where he said that it is not Peter Obi's time and that Peter Obi does not have all it takes to unify Nigeria. I was a bit baffled by that. Honestly, I don't like bringing this, tainted politicians online. In fact, I don't like calling their names, especially the likes of Dino Melaye. In my opinion, it doesn't have any reputation to even talk about, Peter Obi. And in fact, Peter Obi, in my opinion, is not in the same ethical realm as this guy. But before I hear my comments in full, let me just go to Tony. Tony, what do you think about this guy's comment, Peter Obi? I mean, Dino Melaye on Peter Obi.
Yeah, thank you, Kunle. In this day and age, Nigerians should be very, very careful who to listen and who any of the politicians you want to take serious with their comments. To me, this guy belongs to the group of Nigerian politicians who, in most cases, belong to a group that want you to do as they say and not as they do. This particular politician, in my mind, have not lived up to expectation for people to respect his opinion. This guy, in a couple of years back, have been advertising a couple of high expensive, luxurious cars. Having come from a zone that the common masses are suffering in abject poverty, we want those who want to comment on Nigerian issues are those who have records, antecedents to show us that they have performed in the position they have occupied. We don't like people making noise because probably we have freedom of speech, but in reality, they don't live a life that corresponds to what they are preaching.
Yeah.
Peter Obi is referring to at least have some good records to show what he has been able to do as a governor. This politician, Dino Melaye, I don't think he has such track records. And he should rather go and educate himself on how to take care of the average common man in his constituency, rather than coming to describe somebody who have a better track record.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need the likes of this politician to tell us who is qualified to rule Nigeria or not. We want people who have lived by example, by what they do. We want them to come out and speak to Nigerians. This guy should not be telling us what he doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
So we believe that let the masses, let the voters judge whether Peter Obi is qualified or any other politician is qualified to rule them. We don't need political lessons from this guy who has nothing to offer.
Thank you so much. And I must say, I share your sentiment as well. I don't believe that he has the wherewithal to give Nigerians, the advice they need in selecting their leader. This is a guy that was probed sometimes ago of corruption. And what did he do? We saw him
here. Can you have a second? Let us take this call.
Is that a caller? Or hello?
No, there is a caller there, but we lost him.
Okay.
All right. Go on, please.
Yeah, please, can you screen the calls before you bring it online, please?
Okay.
All right. So, Tony, thank you for that. Jude, what is your take on what this guy said? I don't want to call his name, but this says he is Dino Melaye. And those, I must say, those are the people, those are the politicians we are talking about that are spreading this horrific, horrific system of governance called feudalism. Whereas some selected few believe that they own Nigeria, you see, and they perpetuate, slavery politicking, so that people, ordinary Nigerians, will be at their mercy. And I am sure that is one of the things that Peter Obi is against. So I don't think this guy has the qualification to even talk about Peter Obi. I strongly believe that his riches is from our commonwealth. They all benefited from our commonwealth. Jude, over to you.
Thank you. I think Dino Melaye is not reputable. We shouldn't take to his words because this guy that have nothing to tell us. He just it's a scam. Himself is a scam, and we cannot heed to his word because they just choose him because he's outspoken. He's a man that speaks, and that's why they took him as a spokesman for the PDP. Mm-hmm. And whatever he says to us, it looks like irreputable. Cannot be judgmental. We cannot judge him based on what he said, and because he has no form. He is not someone who can rely on. So he is trying to do his job as a spokesman for his Atiku. And to be honest with you, I will just say forget about what he says and let us go straight to the point and deal with it the way it is. Whatever he tells us here is out of contention. He has nothing to say because himself is not who can tell us how he made his money. He's just there trying to use people to be there. He wants to get the position when the government comes in, and he can go on and say whatever he likes. We follow the campaign, we follow the presidential candidates, and we have to judge for ourselves.
Yes, and that kind of tells us, the PDP hierarchy. And I think, Abubakar Atiku has made a mistake, a huge mistake, asking this guy to be his spokesperson. I used to know that Segun Showunmi, a reputable politician from my state, from my constituency, used to represent, used to be Atiku's spokesperson. And I think maybe they actually kind of moved him up in the hierarchy. But I think that it's a huge mistake, that is this guy, Dino Melaye. He is not polished at all. Very nonsensical. We all saw what he did during the PDP's, how do I say it? Their convention in Abuja, when Tambua gave his speech, and in the middle of the arena, like a thug, he lifted Tambua up. Can you imagine that in Nigeria, in this century, in this era, in this time, somebody behaving like a thug, and the likes of Atiku Abubakar is now asking this guy to represent him? Same old story. And this is what we are talking about. Well, are you guys okay to move on? Because I want to go to the next story. And our next story is about Governor Wike and the alleged suit against Atiku's candidacy. It emerged that Governor Wike actually disowned the suit against Atiku's presidency, and he said that he didn't have anything to do with that suit. As far as he is concerned, the suit is a misery to him. But, after a couple of days, the mystery man emerged. We realized that, this man, Dr. Cosmos Ndukwe, actually came out to say that he was actually behind the suit against Atiku's candidacy, and that Governor Wike, had nothing to do with that suit. Anyway, I am not sure. I don't want to categorically believe what this guy said, because he might be denying that, or he might be just dissociating himself, from Governor Wike. We don't know who is behind who are the people, okay, that actually fueled that suit. But then, he has said it that Governor Wike is not part of the suit, had nothing to do with the suit. What is your take on this? And considering the fact, Tony, that we see Governor Wike gallivanting around, inviting the APC stalwarts, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's people to his state to commission projects, etc., etc. And he said something. He said that, yes, he invited them because Gbajabiamila helped him, in getting some of the state money from the federal government. And he did that to actually, let him see what he has done with Rivers money in commissioning all those projects. So over to you regarding the suit, and what do you think is happening, the intricacies and the complexities you see happening in the PDP? Over to you, Tony.
Yeah, Kunle, this is what I call political drama. Nigerians, the masses, have suffered too much that they don't care what they do. This behind closed door drama they're using pulling woods over Nigerians. We are no more interested in what they are doing. We want somebody who can save Nigeria. If you get back to political history, you know that whenever there is any of this fresh domination for any of the posts, there's always this kind of rigmarole going around. They have their plan, but they want to create a scenario as if all is well. We know they are tossing around for position, how to share position for whichever party that may be successful at the center. Whether, if you look very deep, you can find out that even the man coming up to claim he's the person that filed the suit, doesn't have a local standing to file the suit. He wasn't among the contestants. Therefore, somebody can as well pay him to go and cause that confusion.
Yeah.
They know all they are doing. These are the way they confuse us and share our money. If, for example, you say that Governor Wike is trying to appreciate the health of somebody who helped him to recover River State money, the money he used in all this campaign, was it his personal money? That was the amount for political campaigning also came from the River State money. Did he call any person from the federal level to justify the use of River State money for campaign? We all know that these people, they don't have personal business. All the money they parade about are people's money, state government's money. So they should quit confusing Nigerians. Nigerians are politically well educated now, that all they want at this particular time is to vote the right person. We just encourage INEC to make sure that the election will be fair and safe, so that Nigerians who are now very much determined to save the nation from corrupt politicians that for years have been confusing them, they will have the opportunity to vote the right person and then experience some genuine change. Because all these things have been happening every election cycle, and at the end of the day, we get the same result. And we're not going to continue with this cabal and then keep on suffering, because they will never suffer. They always collect all the public fund, use it for their own personal needs, and then the masses keep on being at the receiving end.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I want to say, you see, what you brought up, you know, the money this guy spent on, you know, the campaign, etc. And I know that listening to Arise TV, you see, when this guy had a brush, you know, Wike, he had a brush with Reuben Abati. And Reuben Abati said something that I think is very, very important. And to be honest with you, I think the likes, we are still going to get there. I think the anchors on Arise TV, this is my personal opinion, they are promoting a certain presidential candidate. You know, that is my opinion. And we are going to get to that on this show. But Reuben Abati made mention of one thing, critical thing. He said that, you know, in those days, I think post 2015, when Buhari, you see, won the presidential election, the PDP was in disarray, and this guy stepped up. You know, he bankrolled the party, and that made, you see, most of the elders, you see, to be beholden to him, and probably that gave him wings. You see, when Reuben Abati was condemning his actions through post the PDP presidential primaries, you know, he said that he didn't know where he got the money from, and the guy had been bankrolling the PDP since 2015. So, Jude, what is your take on all this? Because I want you to talk about the suits, blah, 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 you see, and actually to just, you know, talk around what Tony said in terms of all the money this guy has been spending on this presidential campaign, etc., and why this guy said he invited the APC stalwart, you know, to commission, you see, the project he did in River State. Over to you, Jude.
All right. Thank you. We are following the news. Like I said last week, we are very current with what is going on in Nigeria. Even though we are in diaspora, we can easily tell you a breakdown of all that is happening. Wike, like we see, is under pressure because Wike is one of the APC chieftain. He's one of the HTP boss, PDP boss, and the PDP cannot do without him. Look at the power he pulled. Look at during the campaign, what he pulled, what he did. It was a surprise to them, and they are afraid losing him. And Wike is furious. He's not happy. He's actually at the point whereby he needs to explode. And once any small thing will trigger him, and he will explode. He has no fear. You know, he's a bulldozer. He has no fear who you are. He can speak anyhow. He can talk anyhow. And he doesn't care where he ends. But the PDP seems to be silencing him. They keep to be holding him not to talk, not to say something. And this guy is not happy because before the election, before the primaries, the allocation is supposed to be for the South, not for the North. And all of a sudden, they turn it around. And now Atiku came in to be the flag bearer. He's still not happy for that. Wike knows that it's his turn. Putting Jagaban is my turn. Wike thought it's his turn to be the flag bearer of PDP. And the way it is going around, he's not happy with it. And he will explode one day. But he's just thinking, what am I going to do? I'm a PDP diehard. I can't give up. I can't just let this thing go and let it go away from us. And as such, they are like scrutinizing him, holding him tight, not to go, not to say something. So in other ways, people are saying for him, suit or no suit, he's denying it. But there's an evidence that there's evidence that things are going on in PDP, and where the suit is coming from. So he denied, but we don't know where the suit is coming from. The point is that PDP is still not in unity. Yes. Because the foul play they played is haunting them, and they're afraid Obi will take over soon. And if Wike is Swiss side, it will affect them. That is the point. And Wike, we are still waiting for him because it's a guy that we don't know what will happen. It's a guy that has no fear. He can just come out. He can come out tomorrow and say something else. He has said those suits going on, but let us look at him. Secondly, the other question you asked me there is about the. Can you just reframe it again for me?
The money he has been spending, you know.
Yeah, we just, of course. You see, Tony said it. Among here, this guy has lavished some money. He knows. He call Nigerian team of primaries. It's all about money, all about how much you spend, how much you give out. Where did he get the money? Can he account for it? If they should go for a probe tomorrow, can he come and say, yes, I made billions? How did he make his billions? How much is his wages? And as such, it's not easy for him like that. So Tony is right to have said what he said, and it's a long process. We just keep our arms crossed, and Wike is a guy that we look up to. Nothing we can disprove at this moment. Let's just give him that benefit of that, and but we have to urge him to come out and speak what we want to hear before the election concludes. Let Wike be bold enough to tell us what really happened. I want to hear him. We want to hear him. Nigeria want to hear him, and that will lead us to the next election.
Okay, thanks a lot. And we want to proceed now to talk about the terrorists that attacked the Owo Catholic Church. But before we proceed on that, let's talk about, because a news emerged, and it's about El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, sending a memo to President Muhammadu Buhari that the terrorists are running a parallel government in Kaduna State. And we know what has been happening, that the terrorists, threatened, to kidnap the president, to kidnap El-Rufai. And we know what happened, to the Kaduna-bound train. Terrorists kidnapped Kaduna-Abuja-bound train. That terrorists kidnapped, the passengers and murdered a couple of them. So, but this guy has come out now to say, listen, these guys are running a parallel government in the state. There is danger in the horizon. This, to me, is one of the most serious news that emerged, from the country we love so much, Nigeria. You see, I don't know whether I'm the only person feeling this way, because if a governor could pen it down and say, hey, Terrorists are running a parallel government in my state. I think we should consider that extremely serious. And it's like an existential threat to our survival in Nigeria. Tony, over to you. You see, just let it be freestyle. Just kind of take it along to wherever you want to get to. The floor is yours.
Yes, the news is frightening, um, but the good part of it is that it is happening in the part of the country where the federal government can respond. Why it's a cheering news to some part of Nigeria is that if this has happened anywhere else, probably in the southeast, nobody will pay attention. If it has happened if this threat is coming in southwest, it will not be a big news because they will just let it go that it's one of those things. But if it's coming from the core north, I think in a way it's a good news. An unconfirmed report has already indicated federal government response. There is this unconfirmed report that the Air Force already struck in some part of, I think, Kaduna State or Katsina.
It's a confirmed report.
Yes.
So, they are striking every day.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying it's good news to some extent. If the federal government will respond.
We have a caller here, please.
Can you screen it before we come on here?
So, we have a caller, yeah. I think. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, caller. How are you, sir? You're welcome to the Aspire panel.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm calling to share my views. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that.
Absolutely. Please
Yes.
feel free.
What particular topic do you want to share your view on? Or it's just a general, you just have a general comment?
I actually wanted to, the number of things that you guys have said, and I wanted to just maybe phrasing few things that I've not had the opportunity to say, and then basically come back to where you guys are at the moment.
Okay. Let us know you, please, and where are you calling from?
Actually, my name is Mr. Laz Ihukobi, and I'm calling from Dublin, where I live, and I'm actually interested in what is going on in Nigeria. And I heard from the beginning you guys were discussing a number of issues that have to do with being detribalized in Nigeria and all the rest of them, and the governors also collecting money even when they are out of their governorship position.
Okay.
And then you talked about the issue of the Kuje prison and all the rest of them. So these are some of the topics that probably I would like to, have a say on them.
Okay, the floor is yours, sir. And I must let our viewers know. It shows that you have been watching us, you have been listening to our programs because you have made reference to the programs that we had 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. Thank you for listening, and we want to say that yes, we will continue. You see, to dish out, you see, quality discussions about our country, Nigeria. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I wanted to say, whenever this issue of Nigerian politics is talked about, I think I need viewers and the other people to understand that it is good for one to be detribalized. And in most countries of the world, there are different ethnicities that live together and function together. But pardon me to say, in Nigeria, ignorance and high level of illiteracy makes the issue of being detribalized very difficult. Religion and ethnicity is still a very sensitive issue because Nigeria is not matured to overlook the issue of religion and ethnicity. And if you ask me why, you will understand that the present administration of Muhammadu Buhari has obviously used all his ethnic groups to surround himself in everything he's doing. He has not been able to understand that being detribalized is important, to bring all parts of the country together. Look at military, look at customs, look at immigration, look at everywhere. It is all about the Muslims and it is all about the Fulanis. In every aspect of Nigeria, how do you think people will feel when you now discuss about, that, people should feel detribalized when obviously the highest office in Nigeria, which is the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by themselves are very tribalistic in the way they are running the affairs of the country. This is very important. On the other issue of governors, when they leave office, they still go back to become senators and take salary. How on earth is it possible in the Western world where we live in? You leave one political office, you join one political office, you continue to take remuneration from your previous distance, at the same time taking salary again. This issue should have been long dealt with. Because it's a Nigerian factor, because we are always in the business of collecting and sharing money, they don't see anything wrong. I heard what Mr. Antoniesi said, that it is important that this should be put to an end. Money should be spent in bringing up, in creating employment for other young Nigerians to be able to, earn a better living also. And I think that view is very much supported. The only thing that I will also suggest is that when it comes to the issue of P2B, I want everybody to understand that the issue of P2B is like a tsunami. This is the way I look at it. It's like tsunami. Take, for instance, the issue of Ireland when they were fighting for their independence. They had the IRA, the military wing, and they had the IRA, the political wing. So the IRA, the military wing, we are putting pressure on UK, and the IRA, political wing, we are also putting pressure. The two, we are working in pari passu. This is what I see in Nigeria, and that is the only way to sustain the pressure. While P2B, the masses have come out to join P2B, we also have to make sure that the IPOB issue, all the paramilitaries that are in different regions of Nigeria should also put pressure, because otherwise we will not be free from the hegemony of the Fulanis in Nigeria. It is a canker worm that is eating deep into the fabric of the country. Let everybody, not pretend as if it is not happening. You can't go to Nigeria without having the fear of being kidnapped. And they are all rampaging everywhere in the country. You cannot continue to tell people be law-abiding when those fighting you have weapons with them. At every beck and call, they can use it. So it is important that while the political pressure coming from P2B is there, we still need those on the military part of it, the paramilitary, to be armed and to make sure that everybody will be ready in case. And with regards to the election being rigged, I am pretty sure it will be rigged, because when you hear people like Dino Melaye saying that it is not P2B's time, it is telling you that regardless of what the people will say, that they are going to rig this election. But let it be on record that people have voted, and let them rig the election. And if they rig the election, then it will also end up in the court. It looks as if that they are taking Nigerians for granted. But I tell you the gospel truth that no human being that is blind today is not seeing that the crowd is with P2B. So if the crowd is with P2B, it is the best thing INEC will do is to avoid this election being rigged, because I think the forces are there. And then the other topic that I would also want you people to address will be the issue of voters' card being thrown away. Look at INEC printing voters' cards, giving it to be distributed in Lagos, and it will be on the street everywhere. The ones for the East will be littered everywhere in Abuja or in Lagos, and nobody is talking about it. And definitely without voters' card, you'll be disenfranchised. So what is INEC doing about all these voters' cards that are being thrown away and destroyed? What happens if the people don't have the cards to be able to vote on that day? Thank you.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mr. Ihukobi. Let me just, before you go, let me just ask you a question, because you spoke about the tsunami that you think will kind of happening which would kind of happen with Peter Obi in the race. And we must say, you see, the emergence of Peter Obi, you see, has been likened to the emergence of the third force that we have been craving for in Nigeria, because we just have two big political parties, and these politicians, you know, are just redistributing themselves, you know, between these two political parties. So with the emergence of Peter Obi, you know, it gives a lot of people hope in Nigeria. It actually galvanized, you know, the youth class, you know, and a lot of people, you see, Christians and Muslims alike. And I think the mistake a lot of people are making is that they think that it's about the Christian faith. No, because the pastors are kind of pushing for Peter Obi, be obedient. We know that Bishop Oyedepo just last week said it, and he said it live on the pulpit: be obedient. You know, what I just want to say is this, okay? It cut across Muslims and Christians. You know, I see a lot of Muslims tired of what is going on in Nigeria. You know, our government style has been tainted by what we call feudalism, where we have the warlords. You know, the warlords could be the likes of Dino Melaye, you know, those political bags you see scattered in the nooks and corner of Nigeria. Okay, they are like holding fort for the master, you see, to actually stifle and suppress us. Now, let me just go back to Peter Obi, okay, because with all this noise, let me just bring up a sensitive issue that people are talking about. That, okay, with this noise, we had 2 elections in the Southwest, you see, in Ekiti and Osun. And the performance of the Labour Party is nothing to write home about. And even before the election, a lot of noise were made. We're like, oh, we will see what is going to happen. But nothing happened. And I think in Osun State, PDP, I mean, the Labour Party had only 2,700 and something votes out of the total 8,000 votes casted. Now, my question to you is this: how do you think, okay, the noise that we are having on the social media, the activities, you know, the encouragement, the whatever on social media can be translated to actual performances in the state? Because I know that Peter Obi can never be the president without the support of the Southwest and maybe some support from the North as well. So over to you. I am just playing the devil's advocate here, you know, just trying to and we also want you to use our platform, okay, to encourage, okay, voters, okay, to actually, you know, desist from vote buying, thuggery, and corruption during the electoral process. Thank you, Mr. Ihukobi.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the time given to me.
Please, would you mind if I ask Mr. Laz one question? Or Tony, do you want to go for that? Just for a question.
Yes. Let him wrap up this, then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Mr. Yes, let him wrap up the question I asked, then
okay,
you guys can follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Laz, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, I mean, is it in regards to asking more questions or what?
No. You can address the question I threw. So the lads will kind of ask you more questions after you have finished.
Now, the question I am saying is that Why is it that first and foremost, why are we having voters card being littered here and there, and nobody, INEC is not addressing this issue? We have not seen it on national television where it is being addressed. And you talked about the Osun State that the Labour Party didn't perform very well, and we are saying, how are we sure that even though you say it's playing the devil's advocate, how are we sure that this will translate to actual vote during the presidential election? But I am saying, going by what is happening today, the way Labour Party is organizing, if INEC can truly offer Nigerians transparent voting, something will have to happen. There has to be a change, because everybody can understand that both PDP, both APC, they have all disappointed the masses, and the people are ready for a change. And I am truly convinced that if rigging can be avoided, I am pretty sure Peter Obi will emerge as the next president of Nigeria.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yes, Mr. Ihukobi, thank you for joining us. You speak volume of what most Nigerians have up their sleeves. You see, they are fully aware of the impact of P2B. That's why already they're introducing all kind of method to frustrate people getting their voters card. Added to that, in the Southeast, even the INEC chairman, I don't know whether he has rescinded it, but recently he announced that PVC and other processing cannot go ahead in the Southeast, which is the core supporters of P2B, on the assumption that insecure INEC sites are being terrorized. And then you go to other locations where people are supposed to get this PVC card ready. They're throwing it off the street. This is the method of rigging even before the election. We are aware that there's a grand design to rig this election. And the only way out is advising most of our people in the social media, because the noise being made in the social media create this false impression that we're ready to vote in to be. But at the same time, when it matters most, some of these people will sell in their votes. Look at what happened during the delegate conference. Some people had to sell their votes to support others just for making money. But we know, I've said it in this program, the performance in the Southeast, in the Southwest, should not be used as a yardstick to measure the strength of Labour Party, because we are still in endemic position with tribal voting. All along, the Southwest and Southeast do not cooperate. And that's the reason why the Northern oligarchy have enslaved the South for so long. Because when it comes for the Southwest to cooperate with this, they will not. When it comes to the Southeast to cooperate, they don't cooperate. And all along, the rotation presidency has been a willing tangling between the North and the Southwest. So you find out that when we are not cooperating in the South, there's always the chance that the North will continue. Because from the situation on the ground, are we even supposed to have a serious Southwest candidate? Every right-thinking Nigeria has said that it is the choice of the Southeast to produce a presidential candidate. But the Southwest pretend that they don't know the meaning. This is what we keep on pulling each other down. Otherwise, if Tinubu believe in one Nigeria, he should have surrendered to the Southeast, because it is their turn. How long will the Southwest continue to cooperate with the North to ruin Nigeria? Unless we stop this rigmarole, we will be in the same thing. You cannot be doing the same thing and expecting a different result. These people are professional election riggers. They will rig. And at the end of the day, the masses will remain in the same spot. So we are the architect of our own misfortune, and we should not pretend. So until we stand out, tell each other, enough is enough. The Southwest and Southeast, they're fooling themselves and they will continue to suffer in Nigeria. This is not the Nigeria we pray for. And nobody is taking it serious because this cabal have been enriching themselves. The ASU have been on strike now. None of them is bothered because their children are abroad. They don't care. If their children had been in Nigeria, ASU would have been back. But and some of them are senseless that they will even be proud to present graduation ceremonies of their children abroad. And your own educational system have been ruined. It's because the masses are not reacting. The Arab Spring changed the Arab nation. I hope and I pray that the time will come. Because if we keep on fighting to lose our life, one day we will lose it and nothing will happen. We need Arab Spring uprising in Nigeria so that this cabal will feel that they own Nigeria and they decide who survives and who dies in Nigeria will be taught a bitter lesson.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tony. What you say?
And Mr. Kunle, if I may ask, why don't we have a referendum? Why has it become a thorn on the flesh that a referendum cannot be permitted in Nigeria? Why would that not? I would like a situation where that topic will come up and then allow Nigerians to be able to decide if there should be referendum or no. Even in as much as this little country we are all in, Ireland, there is always the issue of referendum in many topics. Why is Nigeria afraid of having a referendum? Why?
Okay, thanks a lot for posing that question. But before I answer that, before I give you my contribution to that, I want to quickly add to what you said. Okay, you said something about ethnicity as the pain or as the root cause of the political development and how our politicking can actually thrive in the country. And you mentioned the fact that even the President Muhammadu Buhari, surrounded himself, okay, with people from a particular ethnic region. And I must say that I could not agree with you more. What you said is correct, 100%. And I think during the first 40 days of the president, his actions reflected what you just said. And I think we should reiterate it, okay, so that if we want a better Nigeria, we have to get rid of tribalism. When the first 40 days, what he did was that he appointed about 44 people. 35 were from the north, 35 to 36. So I must say, President Muhammadu Buhari, has not actually helped the matters. I must say that the next leader must do more to eradicate the tribalism and ethnicity that is negatively tainting our political process in Nigeria. Now to your question, we know that, or should I say it like this? We know the result of the referendum. We already know if it happens today. That is the reason why they are afraid to have a referendum. Because if you ask me today, I will say it on air. Should Nigeria break into three? I will say yes, but a peaceful one. Or you kind of ask me, should we revert back to the pre or post independent, or should I say pre and post system of governance where we have the regional? I will say completely yes. But as you said, the cabals, the oligarchy, they don't want this to happen. That is the reason why a referendum, a free and fair referendum, can never and will never happen in Nigeria if we still have the present crop of people, in our governance. I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Ihukobi for, spending time with us, for contributing. And I must say that we would like to have you back on our program, because I just thought you were just going to make a 1-2 minutes contribution. Actually, I didn't know that you are fully loaded. So I want to say a big thank you to you. And to Tony, you said a lot of things, but Southwest and Southeast. We will discuss that. In fact, let's have that as a topic next week. Let's talk about, because you said a couple of things that, should I say, I don't, it's as if you were throwing dagger in my heart. But it's okay, my friend.
Yes. Dr. Kule,
okay.
Yes. Dr. Kule, please, before Laz goes, Laz is a strong supporter of Peter Obi.
Okay,
let's give him the opportunity. We are apolitical here.
Yes,
we are apolitical. We are just speaking for Nigeria. Let's give Mr. Laz one more time to tell us why people should vote for Peter Obi.
Yes, that was why I said it before. Okay. I said that how can we translate, the enthusiasm that we have on social media to the actual political process to galvanize Peter Obi's supporters and to draw more people to the campaign. Where I stand. I don't need to reiterate myself, but I must say that, we are apolitical here. Please, Mr. Laz, we want you to do your utmost best to tell Nigerians why Peter Obi is the correct choice and the best choice for our country, Nigeria. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kunle and Mr. Jude. I also will not fail to appreciate Mr. Tony Eze. Yeah. The truth has to be told. Sometimes it's bitter. But if we all can look back to what Nigeria used to be, probably 40 years ago, when I would say probably I was a very young man, maybe in my early 20s, I can tell you categorically that the issue of going abroad to study or going abroad to live was not there. People were simply going there to study, and as soon as they finish their studies, they come back to Nigeria. Nigeria was a better place than most other Western countries as far as early 70 and 80 was concerned. But if you look back, you can see that Nigeria as a country has not made progress. Over the years, over the decades, Nigeria has deteriorated. It has completely gone. There is a very big brain drain. Many Nigerians, be it doctors, be it engineers, be it nurses, they are all leaving. Everybody is packing their baggages and leaving Nigeria. The best of brains are going. Then who will be there to build the country? Now, one thing, I have listened to Peter Obi, I've listened to other presidential candidates that are Atiku, I've also listened to Tinubu. None of them is interested in the issues. The only person that is interested in the issues is Peter Obi. Remember, he went to Egypt. Remember, he has visited other countries. Remember the statistics he's giving you about some Asian countries, with export value of 300 billion like Vietnam. Nigeria is 30 billion. Now, he has said that forget the oil. He will turn the northern part of Nigeria to become an export earning, zone, whereby agriculture will be exported. And I'm pretty sure for the first time, when Buhari came in, or when he was buying to come in, he told us, we will give you electricity, we will make $1 to $1. These are all fake promises after almost 8 years of his leadership in Nigeria. But I can assure you, Peter Obi is not there. There is every fundamental reason that to believe that when Peter Obi gets there, within the first 4 years of Peter Obi, Nigeria will be enjoying 100% electricity. I can tell you for sure, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, there will be 100% 24 hours electricity. And then Nigeria will be turned from being a consuming nation to a productive nation, whereby we will start being on per capita with the rest of the Western world. And then our brain drain will come down so that we will not all be going away to abroad. Most of us here wants to go back home and be able to establish. There is complete insecurity, in the nation. Where do you want to go? West is not safe, East is not safe, North is not safe. So there is need for those who have been part of that failure. Tinubu has been part of that failure. Atiku has been part of that failure. They should all give away because the youths of today do not trust them. Atiku has been there with Obasanjo. What did he do? Being a vice president is almost synonymous to being a president. What advice did he give to Obasanjo to make Nigeria better? Rather, he sold all the assets of Nigeria in peanuts and made his cronies to buy into them. Read the history. Tinubu himself, if you had to ask what kind of business did he make that he has so much, become so rich, even much more than Lagos State. So you tell me, we all know these people are corrupt. It's just like people always say, we don't have the military power, we don't have the political power to get them away. But I think in 2023, the power Peter Obi has galvanized with the youth should be used to take these people away. And that is why I believe that if anyone is in doubt of what is happening, it is not noise in the social media. We all in diaspora are also galvanizing. We have the Nigerian in diaspora for P2P, Europe and Ireland. We are organizing, even when they are finding it difficult to be able to allow us to vote here in diaspora. We are organizing. There are many ways we can tell our people back home whom to vote for. There are many ways we can also bring our expertise to support those back home to be able to make sure the right candidate will emerge. So we know definitely it is important for us to stay organized, and it is also important that we make the Irish government to know which side of of the political spectrum we are. We are on the side of P2P, and we want P2P to be there, and the Irish government to take note of that. Nigerians in Ireland are supporting, Labour Party. So we want Nigeria to be better. And we want the Irish government to support us to make our country better. The issue of immigration is also tiring to the European Union. They no longer want people from Africa. We want Africa to be good so that we can go back home and be able to establish and live our life there, rather than coming back here and becoming a nuisance to them. I think it is important that every hand has to be on deck to ensure that the third force being led by P2P should triumph come 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And we want to say that you have made a wonderful, wonderful contribution to our program. We have had a supporter of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on our show, and he made the case for why Asiwaju is the best candidate. Now we have you, Mr. Laz, and I must say to you that Peter Obi should be proud of you. Peter Obi, if you are not on his campaign team, I'm talking of the national and global campaign team in Nigeria, they must, as a matter of urgency, draw you into national limelight, because you have done. I am not patronizing you because you're on the show, but I'm just telling you that you have done justice to the question of why Peter Obi is the best candidate for Nigeria. I want to say a big thank you to you, and hopefully we can have you again on our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kunle, for having me. Jude, for the opportunity, and Mr. Anthony Eze, thank you for having me. God bless.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Laz.
So let's just proceed now to the final segment of our show. Now we have two burning topics, but we will just kind of brush through it because of time. We know that 6 ISWAP terrorists, and for our viewers that don't know the meaning of ISWAP, it is the full meaning is the Islamic State West Africa Province, and is a militant group and administrative division of the Islamic State. You see, this group has been tagged a terrorist organization, and 6 of their members, alleged members, are connected with the Owo Catholic Church attack on June 5, 2022, has been arrested. And those arrested include Idris Abdul Malik, Umezia Akabi Malik, Momo Utowu Abubakar, Ali Yusuf Itopa, Anwar Ishaq Onimisi, Al-Akim Al-Azim Idris, and Abdul Kalim Idris. I just want, guys, please, because of time, just say a minute, whatever. Because, Tony, you mentioned one thing. You said all of them are not the Fulanis or the Hausas we are talking about.
Yeah.
The Nigerians can see. Please, just chip in briefly so that we can close.
Yes, briefly because of time. Nigerians are not highly elated about arrest of any criminal in Nigeria, because arrest is one thing, prosecution and telling them the end result is another thing. You might be too surprised that this is the last you hear of the group. When they show to pretend to show Nigerians that they are performing, nobody tells you what happened in the long run. After all, the kind of prison we have in Nigeria, I don't know, even if they are being prosecuted, is it not Nigerian prison they're going to be sent to? Kujel prison is a typical example. If you put them there, they're going to remove it. So it's not something to shout hallelujah about, but we pray that God will see us through.
Thank you so much. Jude, do you have anything to contribute to this?
Yeah, really, not much. It's a foul play for those people who are thinking that arresting people and that will end the issue. The major job has not been done. We want security to be tackled. They just chasing the surface. Go down to the root, do what you are supposed to do, and let security be in Nigeria. We are tired of all this mess, and whatever they tell us, we don't believe. So until the issue is tackled, there the issue lies. So until it's tackled, we have nothing to say about them. They are just fooling us, and they don't continue to fool us, or we bounce back and attack them back again. So I support Tony. Whatever they do is just a they are just shambles. They're just trying to tell us they are doing something. They are doing nothing. This is just fake news.
Okay, to wrap up, Jude, let me continue with you, because I know that you are 24/7 on Arise TV channels and the TVC. Please, you watch Arise TV a lot, and you kind of feed the forum back, about the activities on Arise TV. And we just want to ask a simple question. Do you think that the anchors, Rufai Oseni, Ruben Abati, and Tudu Abiola, do you think they are saliently working for Atiku's PDP? Do you think they are biased against the other the other presidential aspirants?
Yeah, I want to be honest. I want to be direct to this question. I watch them. I follow them a lot. I watch them daily, every day. The 4 of them there. One of them is on break today. They brought someone in. They are doing a good job. Because I'm not a political, I'm not looking at them in a different. I'm not just like judging them who are they supporting, but my own thinking is that they are trying to bring out the ill of the government. They are trying to bring out that dark things the government are not doing, and unfortunately, it has to be APC government. So if I relate that to APC, that they are targeting APC, I will be wrong because they want Nigeria to change. Though they don't talk much about PDP because they are not in government. I would as well want them to look at this election coming up to deal more with these three parties, especially three parties, to do more job on them, to look at them fully and let Nigeria know what to do, rather than only focusing on the ills of the government of APC. But they are doing it right. I think they are doing well. They are doing well. I will not judge them based on what I thought, but I enjoy their program. But I want them to deal more with PDP as well, because we know the government of PDP, the people there, Atiku, is not a saint. I would like them to bring out those things that they think Nigeria would not like to see in PDP come to 2023, because they are big. That forum is a big forum in Nigeria. If such people watch them every day, so tell us Peter Obi, Labour Party, PDP, and APC, rather than APC only. They should do it round the figure, round and round, please, because we are in a dire need of change in Nigeria.
Okay, so your conclusion is that they are not biased. Tony, over to you. Just
thank you, Kunle. It's a cabals own Nigeria. All of them have their own television stations. Even if when you come to America, we have CNN. CNN is pro-Democratic Party. Fox News is pro-Republican Party. It's worldwide. So nobody will be surprised. But my thing is this. We don't want most of this television, especially that are sponsored by taxpayers' money, to be biased. I've not watched them thoroughly.
They are not sponsored by taxpayers' money. Okay. They are private.
Private. So if they are private, whatever they are, they televise their program on the soil of Nigeria, where people are suffering day in, day out. It will be a great disservice to the nation if they don't want to speak the truth, irrespective of whose ox is God. We want truth in the land. All the political parties, they have their own TV stations, whether private or public, that are speaking their mind. We would want them to face issues rather than personalities. It is obvious from what you said that we have known the current sins of APC. So if they are hitting on APC, nobody will be surprised, because the current government is a failure. And therefore, whoever comments negatively against them should not be seen as if you are anti-APC. All we are saying is that we should hold these people accountable. PDP, where Atiku was a vice president, equally performed woefully. They sold our assets. So they are not angels. So all the political parties and their aspirants should be criticized equally.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I wanted to say a couple of things, but I think Tony nailed it. We know that the TVC is probably owned, if I should say, by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So all this, the big guys, they have, news media under their control. However, this is what I would like to say to the Arise anchors. You see, when anchors start using their emotional and sentimental, side, their own emotional and sentimental side, when asking questions or when responding, when they are attacked, it gives the audience, the viewers, the impression, or it wrong or right, that they are biased. And I must say that news anchors, when posing questions, I'm not a journalist. These guys are way ahead of me, in the ladder. You see, I'm not a trained journalist, but I know one thing, during my doctoral education, blah, 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 you should not be using your own personal pronoun, okay, in bringing questions, in asking questions, when you say the abysmal performance of your, why do you have to use the abysmal whatever? Why do you have to say the chaotic whatever of your, so I listen to them. I think that the way they kind of bring forth their own emotional, I mean, inclination, in asking questions and in dealing with, be it, the APC or the Labour Party. That is just my own opinion. Let's have a level playing field. And as Tony said, let us please address the issues and bring it out for Nigerians to be well informed. And possibly they say, should Owo Catholic also share. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. We really appreciate you. We want to thank our regular audience for joining us today. Mary Nkeze, Victoria Inange, Mrs. Pat Odia Lawson, Onwa Okene, Reverend Amos Adeniyi from Canada, Kabiru Salau from Nigeria, and a host of others. Honorable Laisho for allowing us to join. And we have seen Casey online. He missed that show last week, but I could see him online as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We want to say a big thank you to Anthony Eze from the United States for finding time to join us today, and for Jude Owo Catholic, who is dressed for the summer outing. I know he is going out right now to enjoy the sun. And for me as well, I would say see you again next week. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a big like. Thank you. We see you again next week.